cracking the code on the greatest of all time. This is the GOAT Code. He was the seventh of 8 children, born in the small farming community of Aliceville, Alabama. The average newborn in the U.S. weighs about 7 pounds. This baby tipped the scales at 11 pounds, 15 ounces. His first love was basketball, and in a high school game, one of his dunks shattered a backboard. After allowing only 1 sack in 2 seasons at Holmes Community College, he caught the attention of Bobby Bowden at Florida State. And in 2 seasons at FSU, again, he gave up just 1 sack. Then, on April 19th, 1997, he was selected 6th overall in the draft by the Seattle Seahawks. From the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2014, Walter Jones. You are, without a doubt, one of the best offensive linemen in history. What moment can you point to in your football career where you were able to say, you know what, Walter Jones is a little bit better than everybody else?
I would say probably in high school. I remember when my coach was putting us through drills and he played a little semi-pro football, and he was just telling me I could do it at a very high level and don't make the mistakes. And I think a lot of guys can say that. When they first got introduced, it's all about you being better than the guys in front of you. And for me, that was through high school, that I dominated in JUCO. But then when I got to Florida State, that's when I had to earn my buck. So I would say from Florida State to the pros, that's when I started realizing that I have to learn my craft.
Although he was 6'5", 325 pounds, Jones moved more like someone 50 pounds lighter. In the 40 at the combine, he was clocked at just over 5 seconds, which put him in the 85th percentile of all offensive tackles. On his pro day, he really turned heads when scouts from 6 NFL teams hand-timed him, on average, at 4.7 seconds. And for a big man, he had big hops. His vert was more than 30 inches, which put him in the 81st percentile of tackles. To illustrate how powerful his legs were, consider this. To achieve a 30-inch vert, he had to generate nearly a ton of force. And with his height and standing reach, he could have touched an 11-foot-high basketball rim. Jones was great from the jump. He won the left tackle position in training camp and was named NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month for October. I mean, legendary coaches like Coach Bowden or Coach Holmgren or even John Madden all refer to you as the best offensive player, not just skill position, any position. Why do you think these legendary coaches considered you the best overall offensive player?
You know what, I think these guys see a lot of guys come through and they see guys that can do it at a very high level. And I thought for me personally, I give a lot of credit to playing basketball too. I play a lot of basketball, so I think the game is played about leverage and staying in front of guys. And I try to do that going against some of the top defensive ends, and you can stay in front of those guys and you can play with a force that coaches like, and I try to do that every time.
In today's game, the closest comparison to Jones's combination of size, speed, and agility is Trent Williams. They're about the same size, massive. And as of 2022, Williams has made 10 Pro Bowls and 3 All-Pro teams. Now you are listed as 6'5", and your inseam is 32.
Yeah.
Which is the same as my inseam.
A lot of people don't believe that, though.
I mean, you look at the two of us standing next to each other, and I have a hard time believing it. But look, our waists are about the same. Jones's inseam is, in fact, more normal for a man 5'8" to 5'10", not 6'5". That means he has a long torso and relatively short legs. Compared to players with more traditional body proportions, Jones had a shorter distance to cover to lower his center of mass, which increases stability. And while the ability to change directions quickly while maintaining stability is crucial, a different and more valuable skill is what's called reactive agility. That's the ability to move based on what your opponent is doing. And Jones was a master at reacting to defenders. In the 180 games he played, Jones was penalized for holding only 9 times. People who called him a beast on the line of scrimmage were onto something. At 325 pounds, he weighed as much as an actual wildebeest. Having shorter legs for someone who's 6'5" gave you a lower center of gravity, and they say low man wins. Talk about how important it was for you to be able to stay low.
It was very important. I think I take a lot from my coach back in high school. You know, when we didn't have a lot of weight equipment, so what we had to do was push trucks.
Yeah, you heard that right. One of Walter's workouts in high school was pushing pickup trucks. And he continued that workout as a pro, pushing SUVs around a vacant parking lot. Jones's routine usually consisted of multiple reps of pushing the vehicle about 25 yards. There are numerous variables in the workout, but in ballpark figures, to push a 6,000-pound vehicle that far, for example in 30 seconds, would require generating more than 20,000 watts of power. That's enough power to charge an electric vehicle for almost 3 hours. What is the legacy of Walter Jones?
The legacy of Walter Jones, I would say a great player that did it the right way. Consistently, when he came out, he played the game the right way. For me, represented the team the right way. Every time I step out on the field, or even if I step out in public, I try, even though I'm retired now, I always tell people that what I do still represent the team, still represent the NFL. So I would say that's my legacy, that this kid did it the right way, never complained, just went out there and played football. I've had people come up to me and say, hey, my dad used to come to the game just to watch you. So now for me, I say you have to do it the right way every time you're on the field, because you never know who's watching you. So you have to give your 100% every snap, because you might be changing someone's life or you making someone happy. So for me personally, I enjoy that part of it where you come out there and you give your full potential every time you step on the field.
I love that. That right there is Walter Jones. You never know who's watching.
Never know.
Thank you for joining us
Appreciate
on
it,
the
man.
GOAT Code.
Appreciate it.
So, let's decode the GOAT Code for Walter Jones. A plug-and-play left tackle for Seattle from day one, Jones made 9 Pro Bowls and 6 All-Pro teams. Over the course of 12 seasons, he was on the field for more than 5,700 passing plays. And he gave up only 23 sacks. Jones was voted to the All-Decade team for the 2000s, is a member of the NFL 100th Anniversary team, and the Seahawks retired number 71. And when you mix in intangibles like his unique workouts, exceptional agility, and technical discipline, you've cracked the code that made Walter Jones a true GOAT. For the GOAT Code, I'm John Brinkus.